Hi everyone, welcome to Sweet Pea Seeds Inspirations. My name is Sydney and thank you for joining me for this tutorial today, which is going to be the Zig-Zag V-stitch headband. So please feel free to grab your yarn, your hook, which I am using a 4-weight yarn along with a 5.5mm hook, your scissors, tapestry needles, anything that you really need just for basics, and we'll go ahead and get started. This is going to be a simple 6-row repeat. The only stitches that you really need to know how to do in this tutorial is going to be a V-stitch, which if you don't know how to do a V-stitch, I will be showing you throughout this tutorial, which consists of a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then you're going to need to know how to do a front post and a back post double crochet. So we are going to go ahead and start off with chaining 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 12, and then we are going to do a +3. So 1, 2, and 3. So 2 of those stitches are going to be considered as a chain stitch, which is going to count as a double crochet. And then we are going to skip this very first stitch, and then we are going to go into the next stitch and place a V-stitch. So we are going to skip 3 stitches and go into that 4th stitch and place a V-stitch, which is going to be a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that same stitch. And then we are going to skip the next 2 stitches, so 1 and 2, and in that 3rd stitch we are going to place another double crochet, or V-stitch, sorry, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all into that same stitch. And then we are going to skip 1 stitch. So in the next 7 stitches, we are going to place a double crochet in each of those stitches. So just making sure you did skip that 1 stitch. And once you have gotten to the end of row 1, you should have the 2 V-stitches and the 7 double crochet stitches. And then for row number 2, we are going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and turn your work. We are now on the wrong side of our work. And we are going to skip that very first stitch with the chain 3 right underneath it, or right over top of it. That is going to, the chain 3 is always going to count as a double crochet. So we are always going to skip what seems to be that very first stitch. So in that 2nd stitch, we are going to place a front post double crochet. So we're going to go from one side to the other side and pick up that post and make a double crochet. And we are going to do a front post double crochet in the next, or in all 6 of those stitches. Once you have gotten all 6 of those front post double crochets, we are going to go into that V-stitch, which is that chain 1 space, and we are going to do another V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that V-stitch, and we are going to do the exact same thing in this V-stitch as well. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So you should have now 6 front post double crochets with that chain 3, and then you have 2 V-stitches, and in that very last stitch, which is that chain 2 from the very beginning chain, we are going to place a double crochet. So chain 3, and this is going to be row 3. We are going to go into, we're going to skip that very first stitch where it's right underneath the chain 3. That chain 3 again is always going to count as a double crochet. We are going to go into that V-stitch and place a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and do the exact same thing in the next V-stitch. And then now in the next 6 stitches, so we are going to skip this stitch, this double crochet that's from the previous row V-stitch. We're going to skip that stitch and go straight to these double crochets here, and we are going to place a back post double crochet. So we're going to go from the back to the front to the back again, and then do our double crochet. So again, yarn over, we're going to go from the back to the front to the back again and do a double crochet, and that is a back post double crochet. So we are going to repeat that until you have gotten to the very last stitch, which is going to be that chain 3 space, and then you will just go ahead and place a double crochet into that chain 3 space. So go ahead and chain 3 again. That was row 3. So row 4, go ahead and turn your work. We are on the back side of our work now. And we are going to skip this very first stitch. We're going to skip the second stitch, and we are going to place a V-stitch into that third stitch. Skip 2 stitches, and that third stitch we are going to place another V-stitch. And then we are going to skip that very last stitch, and we're going to go straight to these V-stitches from the previous row, and we are going to place a double crochet in each of the double crochets plus the chain 1s. So once you have gotten all the way to the end, you'll also place a double crochet into that chain 3 space, which should leave you off with 7 double crochets. I'm going to check real quick to making sure I have 7 double crochets. I've got 7, so you have 7 double crochets, and then you should have now 2 V-stitches over top of, with it being on the back side, our front post double crochets, and then that chain 3. So for row number 5, we are going to chain 3. Go ahead and turn your work. We're going to skip that very first stitch, go into the second stitch, and we are going to do a back post double crochet. So again, we are going to go from back to front to back again and place a back post double crochets in each of those 6 stitches. And then once you have gotten to your V-stitches, we are going to place a V-stitch in both of those V-stitches from the previous row. So you should have 2 of them. And then go ahead and place a double crochet in that chain 3 space, or on top of that chain 3. So that is row number 5. For row number 6, we are going to chain 3. Go ahead and turn your work, go in between these 2 double crochets into that V-stitch and place another V-stitch. So your V-stitches should be stacking on top of each other for the 3 rows. And then once you have gotten your 2 V-stitches completed, we are going to do a front post double crochet in each of those 6 stitches. So again, we're going to go from side to side and then do a double crochet for a front post double crochet. And then once you've gotten to the end, go ahead and place a double crochet into that chain 3 space. And that is going to be the 6-row repeat. So this is how your project should start to look. And your V-stitches are going to, and also these ribbed stitches, they are going to kind of zigzag from each other. Go ahead and continue repeating those 6 rows until your desired length. And once you have gotten your desired length, you can go ahead and connect the 2 ends together. How I did mine was I grabbed my 2 ends and just did a slip stitch on the front side. You can also flip it on the back side and do your seam on the back side, depending on however you want the look to go. I felt like doing a slip stitch really went well on the front side with the design and kind of hides it a little bit, but that is completely up to you. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me. Go ahead, and if you would like to check out my other tutorials, I do crocheting, knitting, and Tunisian crocheting tutorials. If you'd like to check those out, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.